Good morning, Wose.
I
want to say real quick that we are not going to have a normal service this morning, service celebration. We are taking this morning to remember and to honor and to praise our dearly departed ancestor, Brother Robert Thornton. Okay. So if you remember Brother Robert, say Ashe.
Ashe.
If you respect the work that Brother Robert did, say Ashe.
Ashe.
If you love the brother, say Ashe.
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 Say Brother Robert. If you can feel the spirit this morning, say Ashe. Okay. If you have a program, you see on your program that Mr. John Templeton is going to come forward and say a few words. He unfortunately is not here. So in his stead, we're going to ask a sister who knew Robert as well as any of us, probably better than all of us. She was Robert's longtime partner and helpmate. I'm going to ask Sister Jamila Rufero. I've known her a long time, and I don't know, is that your last name, Rufero? Rufaro. Come forward and share a few words about Brother Robert. All right.
I really only knew Robert for 2 years. Unfortunately, they were the last 2 years of his time with us, so I was really blessed to know him for that short time. I'm going to read what someone who knew him much longer than I, Deborah Jackson, wrote. And I read it while I was sitting here, and it doesn't sound like Robert at all to me. It's not the Robert that I knew. It Robert was funny and thoughtful and playful. And this, so I'll read it and I'll tell you about the Robert I knew as we went through it. It starts off by saying that he passed away on Tuesday, October 25th in Santa Clara. He was at Kaiser Hospital, and October 25th is my birthday. And my sons, I had been to the hospital and to the nursing home before that every day, and that was the one day that I couldn't go. My sons wanted to take me out for my birthday, and my car was in the shop, and I had repairs and all that, so that was the one day that I wasn't there to see Robert. He was born on June 29th, 1955. He graduated with honors from the California Institute of Technology, which he called Caltech, where he earned his Bachelor of Science degree in Engineering and Applied Science in 1977. Now, when Robert and his Caltech friends got together, I went with him to a barbecue across the street, and they weren't talking about lasers or anything like that. They were talking about the house that they lived in and how Robert became the house chemist. And I took that to mean that they were making some kind of concoctions that probably might have been frowned on by the university officials.
Libations.
Recipes. You got it, exactly. Exactly. And Robert went on to earn his master's and PhD in applied physics at Stanford University, and he was the first African American to earn the doctorate from the Applied Physics Department at Stanford. And the only black man in the department. And this was in 70s, so he told me that they called him the Black. When you're talking about the black guy in physics, he just became the Black because he was the only one, and it was all men at that time. And you know, as much as he was aware of that and aware of where he was and the privilege that he was gaining from being there, and the maybe lack of privilege that he had outside of that institution, he just kept grounded. He kept focused on, you know, the right things all through that experience, and that didn't bother him. In fact, when he told me about it, it was kind of a honor that he, you know, got through that he made it through, and not just struggled but thrived in that environment. A remarkable record of accomplishment has highlighted Dr. Thornton's career in laser development. He holds over 46 patents in lasers and optoelectronics and has authored over 110 publications. During his 15 years with the former Xerox Palo Alto Research Center, now known as Palo Alto Research Center or PARC, Dr. Thornton pioneered the development and commercialization of new semiconductor lasers and photonic devices for high-speed, high-resolution laser printing. He was recognized as an expert in VCSEL devices, high-density VCSEL arrays, and the materials science of laser diodes. That's a mouthful, right? I never heard any of that from Robert. I heard, yeah, I hold some patents. See all those things on the floor? Those are my patents. I said, Robert, if somebody could break in here, you know, like there's a $10,000 laser sitting right here and it's on wheels. And he said, well, that's not the most valuable thing in here. It's really the patents. You know, and I didn't know what a patent looked like. It looks like a book. A thin white book, and there's a frame and things that go along with it. He didn't talk like that. Not to me. Dr. Thornton, let's see, launched his technical career at Xerox Corporate Research in Palo Alto in 1983. During his 15 years at research, he engaged in pioneering materials research aimed at developing red light emitting semiconductor lasers. Specifically, he identified the vertical cavity, here we get technical again, hang with me. The vertical cavity laser as a key new technology area for Xerox and successfully propagated this thinking widely throughout the company. Ultimately, he led the research and development program that established red VCSEL technology within Xerox laser printers. After leaving Xerox, Thornton served a brief stint as Director of Photonic Technology at Max Tech Components Corporation in Beaverton, Oregon, before joining Cirrus Technologies in San Jose as Director of Laser Development. After being promoted to Chief Technical Officer and Vice President of Technology, Thornton provided strategic technical development leadership for the company's new initiative in high bandwidth optical communications. At Cirrus, Thornton was responsible for development of a semiconductor laser technology aimed at exploiting the potential of near-field optical data storage. While there, he built a team of laser scientists, engineers, and technicians to execute on laser processing and characterization. Later, Dr. Thornton founded and became the chief strategist for R.L. Thornton and Associates. More recently, he had founded Ubiquilite, for which he developed an intellectual property portfolio for the realization of low-cost, portable, fiber laser light sources with applications including high-speed data communication, optical clock distribution, non-invasive quantitative blood spectroscopy, and other metrology applications. I'm going to start right there. Okay, let me tell you what this really means, how Robert explained it to me. You know that when you go to the hospital, they put that little red light on your finger?
Right.
They have that little thing that's a clip. Well, in there is a laser that can see through your skin, and it can measure things in your blood. That one that they're using now measures your oxygen level, okay? What Robert did was devise this so that you could actually use that to measure the blood sugar. So that people who have insulin, who have to poke themselves with a needle now, could use this, Robert's new technology, to measure the blood sugar in, through their skin, okay? That laser can also have functions in reading moisture content in paper. So he had a big application that he was working with these people who manufacture paper, knowing how much moisture is in the paper is really important to them. They don't want it to be too wet and they don't want it to be too dry. So by shining this laser through some paper, they could get a measurement of how much moisture is in the paper. And this had all kinds of applications in all different fields. These were just two that I heard him talking about. But there were lots in the medical field and lots in other kinds of manufacturing and technology. And Robert was just at the point where he had sent this to a manufacturer in Los Angeles, and they had given him a prototype. He had 10 of them. And he was fussy about the specs, and somehow they weren't getting the specs exactly right. But he was still able to sell one of them to, what's that aviation company that's Lockheed. So he sold one to Lockheed for a special application that they needed, and then he sold it for $1,000 because it was one of the prototypes. And the guy said, you know, we usually buy this bigger, clunkier, not as specific part, and it cost us $10,000. So kind of nudge to Robert, you could sell it to my other people for at least $2,000. And he did, and he sold them another one, and then he sold another to a company, but he couldn't get the people in LA to do the right thing with the specs that he wanted, and he started working with other people. So they have a machine that does this thing, and now he wants to somehow get his laser into that machine in place of this larger part. which would require either retooling the whole machine or tooling some kind of adapter for his laser. And that's right at the point where he got really sick and couldn't work on that anymore. So I just wanted to tell you, this was like stuff that's still gonna come. This is still gonna come out there. And I don't know what part Robert's patents, his work, you know, a concern for me now is how will his work get out there? How will his name get out there? And that remains in God's hands and remains for us to see. So let's see, I stopped right there. He traveled extensively. He enjoyed cooking. And you know, I think Robert came into my life like all people come into our lives for a season or for a reason. And he came to get my diet healthier, which is one of the main things that he did, introducing me to quinoa and all kinds of other stuff, and then later getting with Shalita and the shakes and all of that, all of that kind of stuff. Okay, he loved music, and coming here to Wose for choir rehearsal was really one of his favorite things to do. And I would say, you know, if he was tired and he was weak and he didn't feel like going, I'd say, you know, you should go to choir rehearsal, because he really loved that, and it really lifted his spirits when he would go. He loved long bike rides through Los Altos hills. I tried to take him on a bike ride once. He told me I was just a warm-up. He's survived by his son, Shingai, whom he raised single-handedly, and 2 sisters. I don't think these are biological sisters, but sisters Flossie Bugs and Nellie C. Stargill. Those who knew him personally will remember Thornton as one of the few authentic entrepreneurs who successfully combined scientific and technical talent with the courage to take on greater than normal financial risk while maintaining his integrity and caring for his son. He will also be remembered for his quick wit and dry sense of humor, and especially wicked and sly laugh to go along with it. I'm going to remember Robert as a friend and a father, and someone who is just a caring person, interested in the community, interested in the uplift of African people. Thank you for allowing me to
Yeah, it goes in the back, I guess. So, give me a second as I set this up, we'll say. As many of you know, my name is Baba Cinnabar, and I've been a member, we'll say, since '83, and I'm grateful for the first time I met Brother Robert at Kwanzaa in '82. I came to Wose for Kwanzaa in '82 when I met Sister Keisha and Brother Robert. And just goes to show you the power of the Nguzo Saba and us keeping our rituals alive and well, so that we can bring new people and new vision and infuse our people with a new and clearer vision. So I will be connecting this computer up. Some of the side notes on the brother is that he always was very humble. I mean, although he was at Stanford, I remember visiting him at his apartment, and he had made himself out of a door, a simple door, his desk, right? And he kept that same desk made out of a door, a throwaway door, all through his graduate period at Stanford. So I thought that was interesting. So he never forgot his roots. His father was a government worker, and his mom was a profound teacher. So with that said, I have some things here. Let's see if I can make it bigger. So let me connect my sound up. Well, and I'm grateful for the new energy in the community. I recognize Brother Adrian, who will be helping me out shortly with the audio-visual stuff.
Ashe.
Let's see if this thing's gonna play. I think I have the one thing on mute. Bear with me as I unmute this thing. It might sound a little funny, but bear with me. Okay, not so bad. All right, let's hopefully it works. So when I first came to, and I'm sure Sister Keisha is going to speak on this, when she talks about Brother Robert's influence on this Palo Alto. This was the theme song for the circle that I am a part of, still feel a part of, East Palo Alto. And as you know, Wose is divided up into geographical areas, and those geographical areas are served by different circles. So this is our circle theme song. So every time we had a party, we played this song. And as you know, it says, Mama, you got me where? Living on the front lines. And definitely, my brother Robert was living there on the front lines. So that was, and still is, a song that resonates with me. Just to point that out, the spirit of the circle and the spirit of the people in the Akumba circle who are still contributing mightily to our to Wose. What I would say too is to Robert's technical prowess, he did a lot in terms of setting up the community for success. I mean, he would come in and notice that we didn't have an accounting system. He said, "No, that's strange. Let's throw one in." So he threw one in, not a problem. And I always got to play second fiddle. I mean, he always did everything and did it first class. So I just look over his shoulder and say, "Oh, that's how it's done. That's how it's done." So a lot of nights of saying, "That's how it's done. That's how it's done." I figured it out. So if anyone ever needed backup or need to know how to get things done, they would come to me. As the sister alluded to, this is Robert's website. It's Ubiquolite, and as you can see, he makes mention of these lasers. And as you can see, the mission statement is Ubiquolite offers product developers the lowest cost and most compact fiber lasers for precision sensing and application requiring wavelengths beyond 700 nanometers. So as you can see, he's serious, and he did this website all by himself using a software package he taught me in called Jula. And so again, just looking over the brother's shoulder, just paying attention. And now with that blessing, we can do things not only for the brother, because sometimes we have to back the brother up, even though he's joined the ancestors. Sometimes he needs things done just to make sure things like his website stays up, right? So with that said, I'd like to point out the fact that he did put this website up, and it's the Wose website. If y'all haven't seen it, this is what it looks like. And again, it has a lot of cool features to it. And of course, we have to reference the store down in East Palo Alto that Sister Keisha has been I don't know, running it like a hawk, Pan-African City Alive. And there we are. That's coming from the Wose website. You can actually, see Sister Keisha's and Brother Pete's fabulously run store. And again, blessing of our ancestor, Brother Robert. The Wose calendar's here. If you ever wanted to watch Wose live, it's always here. Again, this was engineered by Brother Robert. I just looked over his shoulder. So this is us live. And I'm going to stop that. Otherwise, a lot of feedback. Thank you. Yeah. So, the brother in action, what can I say? I just always play co-pilot with the brother. The other thing that I think is interesting, and once we get to the new website, because we sort of have to move off of this website at some point, is the fact that we all can contribute in the future to the series of projects that the brother had outlined. One of them, of course, is the Wose History Project. And he actually developed, the idea, where can we store our history? He said, well, we can actually put it on the Wose's website. Really? Yeah, we can just store it there. So when you all get, time, you all can log into the back end just like I did, and Wose history. You can actually start uploading files and that kind of thing. And I can, of course, teach classes on how to do that. The other thing that's back here, and we have a song we sing, Ancestors Breath. And the idea here is that on Facebook or wherever else, we can start collecting pictures of our ancestors and having them play in the background, just like this is. As you can see, this is Robert Hosen holding his laser. And that's one of his lasers. Yeah. And this is him at a show, Spy Photonics. And then it actually show the label in a second here. Dr. Robert Thornton at Spy Photonics show, Moscone 2009. Brother had the world's smallest laser on display at the show. So, yeah. So the idea there is, and there will be a link on the Wose Facebook page, so you can drop those photos in of ancestors, or even folk who you feel keen about, who might have joined your personal ancestors too. Of course, over here on the right is circles. All these break out a list for the community. Again, the brother, saw the foresight to make these things happen. Anybody have any questions? Don't let me just keep on rambling without some feedback or something. So give me some love.
Beautiful.
Everybody okay?
Yes.
Okay.
You're doing marvelous.
Okay.
Marvelous.
So the idea too is we have another community up the way, if y'all don't know, called Wose Sacramento, and we can get to them from the Wose Oakland website. And that's one of their websites. And so we're working more and more closely with the Wose Sacramento community. We want to re-engineer the Wose website in general, and so that'll be coming up as another project. I'm working with a good brother up there, Brother Jahi knows him. They both worked as engineers at Intel, and now they're both working full-time for the Wose Ileomade communities. Let's do the power for itself, right?
Yes.
Because if we give up 95% of our money and 90% of our intellect to other people who don't look like us, guess what's going to happen?
Yes.
There are other, we'll get to it later in the program, but I don't want to totally take up everyone's time. I'll let Sister Keisha speak to some beautiful things that the brother did, and so I will stop there, but I could go literally on and on. Y'all have to pull me off. I could go on and on about me and the good brother. So with that said, I'm going to turn it over to whoever's next on the program. Yeah. All right. That's what's happening.
Yeah, it says the choir's next. No, that was a video of.
It says
video of him singing.
Yeah, so.
That's
the
Keisha
choir
singing.
singing.
So that's like, we're not gonna have a video?
I don't think so.
Do the video of him singing?
Do you have a video of
course.
us?
Rather
Let's do
sing?
that now, since you're already in line. That's fine.
That's
the next thing.
Yeah, that's the next item. I'll come
Wow. I think it's one I used before in my what was the back of Bali.
It's going to take the projector a couple minutes to come back up, so we have a little time when you want to sing a song or something.
We want to do it after Sister Keisha?
Right after Sister Keisha?
Yeah.
Yeah. Lights, please.
Good morning, Wose.
Good morning, Brother Calabas.
My name is Katabazi, and I wanted to take time to give Sister Keisha an introduction for her presentation. Along with the story that Brother Cinnabar shared was Brother Robert and Brother Cinnabar, and always Sister Keisha, her sister Ekundayo, and Sister Mabantu, a whole bunch of brothers and sisters from East Palo Alto. We call them the East Palo Alto Contingency. And they were part of those early developmental years of Wose. And I'm talking about the first 3 to 4 years of the organization. Brother Robert, Brother Cinnabar, my Sister Keisha, myself, Sister Gina, a whole bunch of others around that time were actively involved in crafting this organization that we now know as Wose. And the East Palo Alto Contingency, when they came, they always came with great enthusiasm and great energy, and always in the spirit of Pan-Africanism. Sister Keisha was, along with Brother Robert, and I think there's a place in the program where I and the rest of you will be able to share more personal remembrances of Brother Robert. But Sister Keisha and Brother Robert worked on the first constitution for the Wose community, and believe me, it was a lot of work, and the drafts and the rewrite. But they hung in there and hammered out that constitutional foundation that still governs the greater part of the organization today. Then Sister Keisha was also very much a part of the Zamani, which was our newspaper at that time, and the Biko organization. So yes. I could go on and on about some of the foundational work that Sister Keisha has done during her time and since with the Wose community. She currently now is a proprietor in Sunnyvale. She runs and operates a private business there with her husband, Brother Pete. They have some wonderful products and items there. Sister Keisha has really carved out a place for herself there. She looks very much a part of the community there now, and but surely her store is very unique. So anyone that have an opportunity should go down and check that out. Most recently, within the last 2 years, when myself and some others undertook the task of writing a coherent Wose community history. And Sister Keisha, I was heading up that committee at the time, and Sister Keisha was one of the first people that I contacted. And sure enough, she had tons of materials and archival material that really is helping us to pull that work together. Currently, the work is on hold, but we look forward to resuming that project again in the near future. And so, having said all of that, I welcome to this podium, although Sister Keisha doesn't get up here as frequently as she used to being in Sunnyvale, but she still is here on special occasions. And always, I'm always feeling such love and warmth when I see the sister. She radiates that type of Pan-Africanist love for people that is enduring over the years that I've known her. And so, without further ado, I offer you and welcome to this microphone, Sister Keisha Evans.
Hotel Africans. I didn't know who we was talking about. She wasn't talking about me. It's a humbling experience to be here to speak about Brother Robert, because frequently we don't get an opportunity to talk about people that we've known and loved for 30 years. We've known each other for 30 years. And I was telling Jamila, it was hard to put this presentation together. And you know, I don't have any problem talking. But this one was difficult because I wanted to be correct. Because one of the things we all know about Robert Thornton is he was correct. 98% of the time. He was human, so he made his own share of mistakes. But Robert was correct. And so, what to talk about, how to say it. First of all, put a little framework around it. When we first came to Wose, the structure was the circles and classes. So in order to be a member of Wose, you were a member of a circle, which was geographical, and you also attended classes. At that time, we had 4 holy books. We had the Hosea, Destruction of Black Civilization, Stolen Legacy by George G.M. James, and 2,000 Seasons by Ani Koyana. And so it was the responsibility of every member to study. And so we studied all the time, and that meant we came from East Palo Alto 2-3 times a week. We studied, but we also had physical work. When Ile Omo Day came into being, it was in Mama Oyen's house, and it was not set up as a daycare center. So we had to go there and work and clean it up and get it organized. And at no point in this study and work was Robert Thornton not active. He was not the elitist leader who only comes when it's time to speak, and only comes when he's on the program. Robert was there. He was washing walls, and we had to clean the backyard at Oyen's house. He and Baba Gray, I can't remember, they were the ones who did that grunt work and getting out all that Cinnabar was there too, getting out all of that ivy, and it was tough. When we found this building and we moved into this building, it was not clean. It had been deserted for a long period of time, and certain homeless had come in and had not been nice. And this building had to be made ready. And at no time did Robert not work. We have pictures, the books that I gave you, of the workers, the ones who were there. And did anybody know that this was a PhD in physical, in applied physics, who was washing and scrubbing? We knew he was our brother, and he knew he was working, and he never stopped working. When we moved from Galindo Street, that was our original place, to the Ice Palace, which was really a nice palace.
Really a nice palace.
And we called it that because it was cold, and I think we never properly brought our ancestors in. I think we assumed that they were there with us, and so we were not faithful to them, and we went over some really rough periods at that place. But when we moved in, it had to be cleaned. And here again, the Wose contingency in East Palo Alto was Kumba Circle. And Kumba Circle consistently made an impression on East Palo Alto residents because of the work that we did and because of the attitude that we had. And it wasn't one person, it was all of us. It really was. And we had a bean feast. So we showed some movies, Cheto by Usman Sambani, and everybody brought all different kinds of beans, and the Wose community came down, and we had a really great time, or a raffle. That showed the community of East Palo Alto what Wose was about. We had a, 2 years in a row, we had a picnic down on Bell Street Park, and everybody came. And those kinds of things cemented us. But we also did some crazy things. And one of the things that I tried to do was to bring pictures. so hard. It was hard because I really didn't want to be the high-tech, flash them up and let them go. And so what I did was I selected some pictures of Robert, but I also thought I'd take a minute to remind us of some other ancestors. Because in 30 years, many of us have come and many of us have gone. And I always say the only downside of getting old for me is saying goodbye to so many wonderful people. So today I have a photograph of Mr. James Cosby. Mr. Cosby was, he loved Wose, and he was as naughty as he could be. Mr. Cosby came from, I think, Richmond. And he was a firm supporting member of this community. Also, I have a picture of Brother O'Brafo, who sang. This brother could sing. And he went to Philadelphia to school when he passed away. Picture of him with Brother Imhotep. And then we have a picture of, well, I have to admit that when I came in and didn't see Brother Alaman, I said, oh my goodness, where is he? I hope he's streaming video at home, and if he is, the person who brought us Brother Alaman was a brother named Amin. What an African. What an example for all of us. He was way long in the struggle. He had been back there with Don Warden and all those people. And he brought so much strength and love to us. In addition, he would dance. He came to his church to dance. And no memory of those who have been here before would be complete without our wonderful Mama Jasir. Mama Jasir came from our ancestors, and she returned way too soon. But didn't she leave an impression on all of us? Didn't she? Wasn't she an inspiration? And so I offer some pictures. I don't know, Cinnabar, how you're going to
Just
be able to get
I get it.
this.
I got you.
Okay.
I got you. Ashe.
At the top is my brother Robert with his son when he was just a baby. And we had forgotten that he had had some leg issues and his legs were in cast. But there he is with his son. And then one of our beautiful sisters who I was hoping would be here today in Jamaica, Carolyn Reeves. And I think it was a Wose, it wasn't an anniversary. I can't remember when that picture was taken, but it was, I think, in this building. And then there's Mr. Cosby.
Yes.
Ashe.
There's Mr. Cosby. On the right-hand side are double pictures. One of the things that the circle would do was spontaneous get-togethers. Doris Al-Khagulan once said that a good circle, the best circle was one where all the members could fit in one car. And this was out at the ocean. Gloria Alafia had brought this handful of sunflower seeds, and everybody was eating sunflower seeds. So here we are out at the ocean. It was an incredible day. There were about 6 pictures, and I just couldn't do them all. But that was just one day when the circle was out at the ocean. And then you see Brother O'Brafo and Brother Amin playing the drums, and down at the bottom our beautiful, lovely sister, Mama Jasiri. We as Africans love each other. Unfortunately, we're letting the media tell us all about the people who don't love each other. But we as African people really do love each other. And we do love to be together. And we need make the media stop pretending like we don't, because we do. When Mama Jasiri was talking, I'm sorry, Jamila was talking, she said that she had never seen a patent. Well, guess what? When he first got a patent, Robert was still living in East Palo Alto. And I was so impressed that here was a patent that had the city of East Palo Alto on it that I asked him if I could use it to show to a class I was doing a presentation. And somehow, over the years, I've kept that patent. And he knows it. I mean, he knew it. As a matter of fact, the week before he left here, the 2 weeks before he left here, the last time he was at home, I had brought some juice or something. And I was telling him about this patent, and he said, "Oh, what you need to see are," and he got up, he was in that chair in the living room, he got up and went upstairs or went someplace and came back and brought out all of his patents. And they were all, that's how come they were on the floor, because he brought them out. And we were looking at all these patents. He said, "These are really the best ones, the ones in the book, because these I own myself." And he said kind of disdainfully, "The one you own, Xerox is on that." Like I care. Here's a copy of the patent. And it's a footnote to say that Robert was mischievous. He was always messing with folks. And the last time I used this was for Jack and Jill, a year about Kwanzaa. And so when Afua and I were talking about it, I'm thinking, where's the patent? Where's the patent? I don't know where the patent is. I said to my husband, "Where's the patent?" He said, "Oh, it's in there someplace." Where's the patent? We couldn't find it. We couldn't find it. This was about a month ago. Could not find the patent. We looked at home, we looked at the store, could not find the patent. Thursday night, while Pete was sleeping, he woke up and he saw a red box that said RT on it. He got up in the morning, went to the store, climbed up above the refrigerator, and there it wasn't a box, it was a red bag with the patent in it.
That's right.
The spirit of our ancestors. The final thing I'd like to share, is that when we were down at the Tech Museum, the speaker, Dr. Chow, said that when he was a student at Ithaca College in New York, or Cornell, one of them, he wanted to work with lasers. And people said, "You need to go out and work with the black expert at Xerox." And he said, "The black expert? Yeah, they have an expert on lasers out at Xerox in Palo Alto. You ought to go work with him." And he said he came out, he interviewed with Robert. Robert hired him, and he had nothing to praise for the outstanding work of his brother and the fact that he mentored him like he did. So Dr. Chow was top of his field, but he was there giving praise to our brother for mentoring him and being there. But it's interesting that they referred to him as the black, because they told him to come. There was a black expert that he needed to work with, and that was Robert Thornton. He was our friend, he was our brother, he was our historian, he was our photographer, he was our cook. He liked to make bread pudding. He was many things, but above all, he was an African. And I know it's out of order, but I wonder if, because his work was light, and the light that is in each one of us is that light that's part of spirit, it brought our people through so many times, because sometimes we feel our light is dimmed. But I wonder if we could just stand up and sing This Little Light of Mine in honor of our brother. I'm not very good at leading, but could we sing?
This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine all the time. All right, we'll sing. This morning that will say, I'm gonna let it shine. This morning that will say, I'm gonna let it shine. This morning that will say, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine all the time. Everywhere I go, everywhere I go, I'm gonna let it shine. Everywhere I go, I'm gonna let it shine. Everywhere I go, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine all the
So we have a segment from Brother Robert singing. He liked a lot of different songs, big repertoire, soul music, temptation. You put it on, the brother could handle it. So and he was really, really good, exceptional singer. I learned a lot from him. He would always have an ear for harmony. Da da da. Oh, that's your part. Okay. He set the baritones up, set the tenors up, even help out the altos every once in a while. But he could really place notes wherever he wanted them to go, and then some. All right. So I'm gonna play a quick one. He's leading a song called "Lift Wose."
It's from anniversary 2 years ago.
Anniversary of 6250, 2 years ago.
And the harpist is Sister Destiny.
Yes.
Is that Sister Tarika? Is it part of this?
With the, yes, if there is a, yes, that looks like her over there with us. Yeah.
So where are we in the program, good brothers and sisters?
Sister Nina.
Sister Nina. Yes, I'm going to turn it on.
A couple of things. Good morning, all.
Good morning.
It's long to be here. This is a tomato from Sunnyvale, Sister Keisha brought one of his. Oh, you didn't, but it's one of his favorite fruits. And this chair here is in honor of him, so, and we pour libation and we offer food to the ancestors. So I'm going to place this here for the brother, and then I'm going to just pour a special libation. We usually pour it into a reciprocal or a flower, a plant, but this has something in it, I'm not sure what it is. So, again, I'm pouring libation to Dr. Robert Thornton's mother, Ashe, to his father, Ashe, and to Dr. Thornton himself. And we thank them for having shared him with us. Again, it's already been said that Dr. Thornton, he was so humble. To me, he was Brother Robert Thornton, PhD. That's who he was, because that came after. Yes. He was awesome. This is loud. But, and to give honor to the entire East Palo Alto group. They came, and that's quite a little drive. Yes.
And again, they came not only on Sundays, they came for study and work and fellowship, which is very important. So, and the brother himself was the epitome of humble. You never knew all this stuff about him. We didn't find some of this stuff out until the brother's passing. So that says so much about who he was as a person, for me. Because he didn't walk around, with his armors on his chest. He didn't do that. He worked, studied, prayed, fellowshipped. And we here at Wose, we want 10% of your money, your time, and your talent. So you can't do one thing. That's just not acceptable. We want your money, your time, and your talent. And he was that. There was such a group from East Palo Alto that came here and, again, tirelessly. And the other thing we say here at Wose is that if you live your life and you cross on to the other side and nobody remembers you, that is really, really bad. So if you get sick, like Brother Robert did, and you have a group of people that love you enough to go from Oakland to San Jose to take care of you, that says something about you. That says something about who you were, who you are as a person. And when we went down to Brother Robert's homegoing celebration, he had relatives there. It was funny, he had an aunt there, and we have a kind of different name, Wose Community Church, and people like, Wose, what does that mean, who is that? So his little aunt was the sweetest little lady, and she was like, and this is from the audience, from her seat, she said, do you guys believe in the word? And I'm sitting there, and I hadn't planned to say anything. And then Brother Greg and Minister Imhotep was there, and then she held out, did you guys get baptized? So at that point, I was like, okay, got to say something. I was like, we're not heathens. So when the minister finished, I gave honor to the pulpit and to everybody who was there, and I said, we're all from other denominations. Most of us were, yes, baptized. And yes, we do believe in the word. We believe in God and we believe in the word. And the sister sat there and she said, okay. So we're not these strange group of people that dress in this African garb and everything. And it was so funny, it was so cute, because Minister Imhotep came up months later and he says, I'm so glad Mommy Gina said that. Because very respectfully, we're not a bunch of heathens. We are Africans who are trying to live the best life we can. The least of us is the best of us. What good is it for me to survive without you? I would not want to do that. And when Brother Robert got sick,
again, there was a group, and not one or two people.
Right.
There were several people. Sister Shanita, Sister Amina, Sister Kanke, Brother Ty, all of these people, and then I'm not leaving any names out on purpose, Brother Katabazi, that went from Oakland to San Jose to be there. To be there. That says a lot.
That's right.
And I said, I want a Team Robert.
Yes, you did.
I want a Team Robert. Because if you haven't done anything,
Right.
then you might not have a team.
That's right.
You might not have a team. And again, this place, we'll say, means so much to so many of us. Some of us have come and gone and returned. A lot of us have been here throughout. The East Palo Alto group, Sister Keisha, Sister Kendayo, the sister that ran for mayor, sister with all the babies, Sister Navant, who had 5 children. She had a station wagon. They used to get up and be at Wose on time for 10:30.
All right now.
Not running in at 11 o'clock,
Right.
and we live right around the corner.
Right.
On time with 5 children and 1 special child. And she would be here on time, all the time. So I'm telling you, that is really, really something. We've done some awesome things at Wose. When we were on Delindo, we did Kwanzaa, not the first night, all 7 nights. All 7 nights. At a different venue, with a different guest speaker, with a different entertainment, and food to feed 500 people.
Wow. That's huge.
So we are awesome, we'll say. We have a lot to do. We are so proud of our school. Mama Jasiri was one of those. And these are some of the ancestors here. We did our worship folder from a place called The Work You Want. Sister Brady Daniels, his ancestor, worked on that. And the sister used to smoke. And everybody used to say, oh, Sister Brady, you need to stop smoking. You need to stop smoking. She never stopped smoking. She did worship folder every Sunday. She did what she was supposed to do, and she came to church. We have Mama Meg, Mother Ruth Hill. We had some awesome people at Wose. Brother Crosby, just a quick minute on him, spent a lot of time at Kaiser, where I spent 28 years at Kaiser. He was so awful in a good way. He was such a mess. Oh, a mess. He lay in state right there when he crossed over. He's the only one that's been in this building. And he would do stuff, and I was on the same floor that he was on. I was a couple floors from him. And they used to call me, Miss Lockett, can you come? Brother Crosby spat at the doctor. Oh my goodness. And he didn't spit at him, but he would spit at the curtains or something. You can't tell me what to do, blah, 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 blah. This little brother, that little brother used to make his own tuxedo. Tails and all. Wow. Tails and all. And he was awesome. He stayed in Kaiser for about a month. Not because he was sick, because he was so cantankerous, and we didn't know what to do with him, where to send him. And he was just a mess. They would call me from work to go see about what Mr. Crosby was doing. And I was like, Brother Crosby, you can't do that. And he would settle down when I came, but he was something. Brother Amin would dance. When we played the drums, he would dance. Brother Brufo had the voice of Paul Robeson. And the first time I heard it was at Imhotep and Doris's wedding. And they were in another venue. And he was up in the balcony, and you couldn't see him. But you just heard this voice, you know, coming from, I was like, oh my goodness, because he could do it. So we have had so many wonderful, wonderful people come through Wose. And Dr. Robert Thornton was one of the most humble, because again, nobody knew he had 46 patents, because he didn't talk about them. He came, he sang, he worked, he did whatever he was supposed to do, and then he went back to doing what he was doing. And I remember him coming here, getting married. I remember where he met his wife. I remember Shingai. You know, just so many wonderful things have happened in this place. and with all these wonderful, wonderful people. So I thank you, and to Dr. Thornton, we thank you for his life, his health, and all that he did and that he left with us.
Again, my name is Kakabazing, and I'll just share a brief personal comments in regard to Brother Robert Thornton. In those early years, as I mentioned earlier with the East Palo Alto contingency coming up, in those early years, Brother Robert was just like so many other of us. You know, we were all young, we were all about in our 30s, and we all were just filled with the spirit of Pan-Africanism and wanting to do something more for our people. But the thing that I always remembered about Brother Robert, he always had a very nice fro, you know, very nice fro, and he had alert eyes. His eyes were very alert, as I thought. Even when he would not speak, if you saw his eyes, you could see the alertness behind the eyes. More recent time, actually, even with the first Stones of Fire, Brother Robert was a part of that first group of Stones of Fire, as I was. And again, very unassuming, just another guy, just another brother, you know, in a common place among African people that love themselves and love one another. And careers and what one did just didn't really come into the mix. I was surprised that the brother was so deeply involved in the level of research that he was, in the accomplishments that he had. But after the Stones of Fire, I drifted away myself for a few years. So did Brother Robert. Then we kind of came back again around the resurrection of the Stones of Fire again, about 2 years ago. And again, he and I were in the background singing tenor. And Brother Robert had range, so he would also go up and would sing baritone with cinnabar. And it was also during that time that I finally found out what he was doing. He found out some of the work that I was doing and engaged in, and that I was retired at that time. And I mentioned to him that I had retired from Chevron, and he was saying, "Yeah, I need to talk to you." He was working on this laser device through his new company, Ubiquitite, and so he thought that his lasers had the capability to be modified for almost any kind of industry. And so he was curious about any applications that they would have in the refinery services. So I still knew a couple of people over there, and I put him in contact with a couple of people, and they were having some conversation, they were having some dialogue, and I really feel that there was a great deal of potential for some very positive work to come out of there. It may still eventually come out while he was alive. But that's those are my fondest memories, and the power that he sang with when he would come for rehearsal. Oftentimes, perhaps after going through a treatment or something, he would be not at his strongest self. But once we began to rehearse and once we began to sing, he would find his strength, and you could see and you could feel his energy soar. So I give thanks for Brother Robert's coming this way. I give thanks for the time that we shared and the path that we walked together. I give thanks for his many contributions here at the Wose community, as well as contributions in the technical world. I believe that reach is still unfolding and will continue to unfold for some time. We give thanks for being able to share this space and this time with him during the time that he was here with us. Ashe.
Ashe.
So, again, Brother Cinnabar, and as you know, the brother was serious about study. As we know, not enough of our youth are taking the math and sciences very few, precious few nationally, less than 7% take physics in 12th grade. So the United States has an issue, let alone Africans in the United States. But we need to step it up. We need more engineers, and we just hope our youth will, just get serious about what made Imhotep great, get serious about what made Benjamin Banneker great. And we know that finance is important too, but we need our science brothers and sisters to help us out. Reflections about Brother Robert, simple, a dynamic brother, got the job done. The thing that was scary about the brother to me is he'd be up any hour of the night. That was scary. And so I could call him at 2 in the morning, hey, how you doing? It's like it's 12 right now. So with that said, we have to be mindful and careful of how we treat our bodies and give ourselves rest and, be sure to eat our greens and these kind of things as black men we have to look at. So with that said, I'm going to yield the floor to Sister Connie, another distinguished member of the community who happens to love math and science too.
Thank you, Wose community, and Sister Keisha, thank you so much for bringing the pictures that you brought, because, I'm new to Wose, and some of our ancestors I've heard of, but to see pictures of them today meant a lot to me. Reverend Obrafu and Sister Mama Jasiri and the others, I'm just so glad to see pictures of them, because it means a lot to me. I know I missed a lot of years here at Wose, but I'm here now.
All right.
So we're just going to move on to just each and any individual person that want to make a little comment. Limit your time to about a minute. Any personal remembrances of Robert that you have that you want to share. So for me, I'll say that before Team Robert took over with caring for him when he was really at some of his worst time dealing with his illness, I just noticed myself personally that we had not seen Robert. And I called him and found out he was in a crisis. It was a severe crisis. And so I went to see him the first time by myself and took some food. He still had a little appetite then. The second time, Cinnabar went with me. And, the brother, in spite of how he felt, he was concerned about how we were doing. He was concerned about, not looking at him seriously being ill. He took everything lightly. And he always was thinking about other people. And I think of Robert, and I think of a man of service. He served so many communities, the world community, the Wose community, the African community. That's what he did. He was a man of service. And he liked to have a good time too. The last time I saw Robert, before he got as sick as he got, and before he made his transition, we were talking about music and iTunes and the Intruders, and he played a couple of his Intruder songs that I didn't have on my iTunes system. So anytime I hear some Intruders, Slow Drag, you know the song. I can't hear that song now without having a memory of Robert. The Intruders in general, will be united, I think, of Robert. So Dr. Robert Thornton, brother of service, his light was very bright. And, we need to all live our lives in light and bring in whatever we can, and don't be scared. Just don't be scared. So as I pass this mic around, let's not be scared. Who wants to say a few words or just, a minute? We got just a little time.
Sure, you're near me, so take it, release it.
For those who may not know, I feel that I should disclose my name. My name is Raymond Davis. I have to say that I did not know Brother Robert. I really didn't. Even though I was many times in the same room with him, I hadn't a window into his life at all, really. During Sister Angina's favorite moment in our services, when that she likes to call huggy and kissy, as we all do. I would often circulate and shake hands and give hugs, and Brother Robert was among people whose hands I shook and had given a hug. But I did not know until the moment that Sister Connie just described, that he was in a hospital. I did not know that he had been ill for some time. I did have one moment of less than a superficial exchange with him when he had set up the website, the Wose community website, as Brother Cinnabar talked about earlier. For some reason, he was not the only one who did this, but for some reason he mentioned me as a potential web guardian, moderator of the site, and was about to turn it over to me. And I had to say to him, was by email, frankly, that I knew nothing about running a website, and he just assumed for some reason that I would. And I didn't, so I had to turn down that opportunity in the interest of the website itself and the community. I have to say that if there's a theme, aside from the fact that many of us here are reliving Jose's early days and the bonding that took place among the people who were part of that great adventure, I wish that I had known him better, and I suspect that many of you share that sentiment. But beyond that, I wish we had done more as a community to bring out his talents. Because I now feel that we lost not only him, a brother, but the expertise that he walked around with. The kind of expertise in a field that actually defines our age. We're no longer an industrial society. We're a high-tech, high-speed, optical, cable communicating society. And we had someone who was at the cutting edge of that field here all that time. And our children did not know that he was a walking gold mine of information, and that they could have locked into, and that might last them for their entire generation. And now I feel that. I feel two losses. One, the brother I didn't get to know better. And secondly, the loss of the opportunity to learn from him so much of what he knew. Humility is to be admired, and I don't mean this in any way as a commentary on his humility. I think it's more a reflection on us, that greatness, sitting, talking, dancing, singing person is a great man. And in some ways, I don't think we measured up to the greatness of his presence among us. And I'm feeling that we should do something to make sure that that doesn't happen again. Because I think it's not too bold to say that we have greatness here today. Treasure here today that we're not perhaps using as fully as we could, but is available to us. And maybe one of the things we could do as a tribute, there are many ideas that have been put forward as a possible way of continuing to honor our great brother. Well, one of the things perhaps we could do is to develop some kind of way in which we get information about our expertise. Whether that expertise is with optical communication, or whether it is with interacting with other people, or whether it is spiritual insight, whatever it might be. We need a way of bringing that out and celebrating it while we are on this side, rather than afterwards. Thank you.
I'm just going to read a quick statement. I recall the last time I saw Brother Dr. Robert was some months prior to the announcement of his illness. We exchanged greetings, and after some time, we exchanged addresses and phone numbers. I know that because of the quality of the life that he lived, he is surely welcomed to his new home in the halls of the ancestors, and his many skills are being put to good use. Hotep, and that's from Minister Lozelle in Mississippi.
Anybody else?
I just want to say, echo what other people have said, that I wished I would have got to know him better. We always greeted each other warmly when I did see him, and that the only time we exchanged more than that is, I guess he had, found out a little bit about me and was questioning me about it, and I didn't really fully engage him as I should have, because I assumed that he wouldn't be interested, and so I regret that. But I was, thoroughly impressed by hearing about all the things that he was into, and had no inclination from his manner or that he was into all that. So.
Greetings, family. After hearing all of the phenomenal things, especially the patents, but more so the genius that Brother Robert displayed for us, I think the greatest gift from my perspective that he has given us is the opportunity for us to look at some of our choices surrounding the healing arts. We have great respect for the intellect. We have great respect for the science. And I think his life and the way that it was drained from him speaks to us really needing to recapture the power of holistic healing, the powers of holistic eating, the powers of the holistic insight, and being able to call upon the healers that specialize in melanin dominant physiology to the same extent that he called upon the Chauti power and manipulating the light. He has given us a challenge to really ground ourselves and look at some of the choices we make when we think we're not well, and then to develop some alternatives and choices, even if it's something as simple as a catalog, a list of numbers of holistic healers that we know have been on the front lines forever. That should be our first choice. And I think his life and the way that we watched it dissipate speaks to an area that really we need to become expert in again.
I have a memory of Robert that, well, it's not that serious, but it is, I had to chuckle at it. But it was actually a learning moment for me. It was during the rehearsal. Stones were rehearsing, and actually rehearsal was like over, so some people had left. And I was very upset because I think I was directing. I was upset because I'm used to African people being spontaneous in regards to clapping and rocking. I'm like, I shouldn't have to tell you. I didn't understand what was going on. I was like, I shouldn't have to tell you to like clap. Just do it. Like you should feel it. You just did it. So some people. So I was getting to it like a debate with some people. Right? Like, you don't have to be so dead. Come on. thankfully Robert, because I'm getting to this discussion, this back and forth thing with, I forget who, but then Robert and I are kind of doing it. But then thankfully he was able to share something with me, a perspective that I didn't even consider. You know, especially with the experience of growing up in church. I said, I'm used to like people just doing whatever they feel.
They do.
Right. And I assumed that all black people come from the same church experience, right? Yeah, root. I assumed that. And he shared with me, he's like, oh, he recognized what was going on. He's like, oh, well, you know what? He's like, well, you gotta understand, I came from I forget what type of church. And he was saying, he's like, you were not spontaneous. We didn't do that. He said, if you clapped, it's because someone told you to clap. It's like, and I could not wrap my brain around that. If someone had a camera, this was a comedy, because I was just staring at him like, what? That is, you know. And he was staring at me, and then we had this moment of laughing. He's like, yeah. It's like, I don't get that. So, but I appreciate, he was so cool. He said, but I tell you what, if you just like give me some type of sign, I'll start clapping. He's like, I'll start clapping, and I'll just like let it go. He's like, I'll let it go. I said, okay, thank you. Thank you. He said, yeah, I can do that for you. So I just appreciated that moment of enlightenment and his willingness to accommodate. Like, okay, yeah, if you give me the sign that I can let loose, I'll let loose. But that's my big memory of Brother Robert.
All right, thank you. Did anybody else have anything they wanted to say quickly?
I would like to say one thing.
All right.
We're talking about Brother Robert, but the sister just pointed out the lessons. And one lesson that Brother Ray also pointed out is the appreciation of each other. And there's a brother in this room who, above and beyond everybody else, was faithful to Robert through the whole thing. He hasn't spoken, and it doesn't look like he's going to speak, but I think we should understand how much Brother Ty loved Brother Robert and how he supported him. He was there every day, I mean every, I don't know, 2-3 times a week, all day long. He was there when he went to X-ray, he was there when he came back, he was there when he was eating, he was there when he wasn't eating. He was the Wose member who demonstrated Mott so greatly that we really need to recognize that the greatness is still here. And he's walking right in this room.
One more? Okay. All right, come get it. Come to it.
Come on, man. Up there when you're done. Yes, ma'am.
All right.
Afternoon, y'all. I was asked by Mama Ford to come share a few words and say a few things. I had planned to because I was going to repeat things that folks had already said in terms of personal experience. It does suggest to me that kind of the common themes, that some of the things that we draw from this, I think there are several, and I'll speak on some of the eliminated school things. But one is that over the years I've been growing up and I realize I'm looking at, I read things a little differently. I had this obsession with obituaries and dates and such. So I go, man, he's 10 years older than me. It's not a lot.
No.
In fact, it's nothing. And so one of the things I've learned is that as black folks, we don't tend to talk about specifics of our lives with each other. And partly it's because we are so personal and we communicate so easily that we jump into friendships prior to establishing what our backgrounds are. Because we don't think they're important.
Right.
I really don't care what you've done or what you've been doing. Not that I don't appreciate it, it's that it doesn't depend upon me befriending you and being part of the community together. So we can connect and vibe in that way, but then we lose opportunities to enjoy each other's skill sets. And when we bring to the table, we can learn from each other. Like many of you here, or at least new folks to Wose, I knew nothing about Brother Robert. He was when I came to Wose at various points, he was not the black guy, he was the tech guy, right? And so, and it was only spoken to me because I was an engineer. And so, oh, you got to meet Brother Robert because he's a tech guy. In other words, y'all would talk about something we don't really care about, but go talk to him. But I didn't really connect. I probably spoke with him maybe a total of a half hour. I mean, if I just add up all the conversations we had, it might be 30 minutes. It wouldn't be a whole lot. So it's not much. And I'm also struck as watching the video from Anniversary. It's 10 months.
Yeah.
And after that anniversary, 10 months, he was gone. So we don't, it just reminded me again that we don't have a lot of time. I'm sitting back there going, we got to put stuff, individually.
Right.
Whatever contribution you're going to make it now.
Okay.
You can't keep waiting for the next moment, the next time, or when this gets, time is right now. So you just don't know. So I would just share that piece. And it's disappointing because, there's a lot of ways we can connect, particularly since we do have a school. One of the things I've learned as first to come to school, you can do anything at school. I mean, there's no talent that you have that could not be utilized. It's not possible. There's a number of things that are listed here as eliminate projects. There are things that I think would be good for us to pursue, one of which is discussion about science curriculum and some other areas we can participate in. I think also it behooves us to, it's a conversation we don't like to have, but I'll say it because I think it needs to be said. Our legacy extends beyond our life here in implicit ways and explicit ways. I'm reminded of a course I'll take, the last thing I'll say. That's why I don't like to talk, because I'll start talking, I'll sit down, 30 seconds. But I remember taking a course, I think microeconomics, back when I was undergrad, and it stimulated me. I found it exciting. And one of the conversations we had was about Kennedys and how they had made so much money. The professor was talking about how endowments work and how trust funds work. I didn't know. My trust fund, you get a job and you keep working till actual trust fund. Trust you're gonna get a job, trust you're gonna keep it. So they talked about Kennedys, and the Kennedys had so much money establishing trust funds that they never had to work. And that trust fund would exist forever. It would never be diminished at all. And I just couldn't fathom that. It was amazing to me. And so we look at for us, the trust that we put in terms of endowment is both our work that we do while we're here, but also establishing things when we leave.
Right.
So that when we talk about establishing scholarships, we should be putting money aside for a scholarship. For an Alvin Cornier scholarship that will exist after we're gone from this place. And so I'm saying for each of us, we need to begin thinking in those ways, the work we do now and what we do after we leave this place. So we'll talk more about things that we can do to support his work and to utilize it here. My son's taking honors physics in a month from now.
All right.
And it would have been great. Yeah. Literally, if he could have had spent time with Dr. Robert Thornton and spoken about that. It just wouldn't be amazing. So the opportunities, we can take more of these opportunities and make the most of them.
Okay, Brother Robert was many, many, many things. But one of the things he was a stone of fire. And so we, the Stones, want to honor him in the way that we do best, and that's through song. And so I'm waiting for this to step to the front. Be spontaneous. While they're coming, let me say, first of all, excuse my back, we'll say. A year ago, when I looked to my left, I would see Brother Robert's. When I stood here and looked to my left, I would see Brother Robert's smiling face. And now, a year later, when I stand here and look to my left, I still see his smiling face on the piano. He's still a part of us. He was a Stone, he is a Stone, and he always will be a Stone. The laser man, the light man. It's the light mine. I'm gonna let it shine. It's the light mine. I'm gonna let it shine. It's the light mine. I'm gonna let it shine, let it shine, let it say all the time. Well, this that we don't have to say. I'm gonna let it shine, this that we don't have to say. Robert's calling my name. This is the song that we, the Stones of Fire, call our musical libation. Typically, during a libation, you pour liquid to the ground. We, the Stones of Fire, lift our voices. This morning, we lift our voice for Brother Dr. Robert Thornton. And the song says, where are the ancestors? Can you see them? Can you feel them? The song says, sometimes you can hear them. All you have to do is listen. Listen. Listen more often to things than to beings. Listen more often to things than to beings. 'Tis the ancestors' breath when the fire's voice is heard. 'Tis the ancestors' breath in the voice of the waters. I wish those who have died have never, never left. The dead are not under the earth. They're in the rustling trees. They're in the groaning woods. They're in the crying grass. They're in the moaning rocks. The dead are not under the earth. So listen more often to things than to beings. Listen more often to things than to beings. 'Tis the ancestors' breath when the fire's voice is heard. 'Tis the ancestors' breath in the voice of the waters. I wish those who have died have never, never left. The dead have a pact with the living. They're in the woman's breast. They're in the wailing child. They're with us in the home. They're with us in this crowd. The dead have a pact with the living. So listen more often to things than to beings. Listen more often to things than to beings. 'Tis the ancestors' breath when the fire's voice is heard. 'Tis the ancestors' breath in the voice of the waters. I wish voice of the waters. I wish, I wish, I wish, I wish. Brother Robert Thornton, Brother O'Brien, Brother Crosby, Brother Jeruba, we want to do one more song. Oh, I'm sorry. Or not. I'm sorry. Or not. We're going to do it. Or not. We're going to ask everybody to touch somebody. We're going to ask everybody to touch somebody. And we're going to form what we call the Stones of Fire Circle. It may not look like a circle, but all the spaces in between are taken up by the ancestors.
Oh, okay.
May the circle be unbroken by and by, Lord, by and by. May the circle be we first sang it on the weekend that Brother Robert joined the ancestors. We call this song Robert's Song. And we sing this song to say thank you, Amun Ra, for allowing Robert to be in our life for as long as he was, and to be a part of this community for 30 years. Sunshine and wind and the shower
stage, family and friends. This is normally the time for the litany of sacrifice. Because of the lateness of the hour, we're going to do an abbreviated version of that litany of sacrifice. And many of you and if you hold those envelopes up, we can have those picked up, retrieved. There's a couple of these in front and in the back. Brother Baccarat goes to the altar to assist here. We give thanks. We give thanks for the young people in the Wose community brought up word of truth, way of mind, that they may know and learn what their ancestors have done before them to provide them a path and a foundation. The litany of sacrifice appears on a placard similar to this. And so if each and every one could stand, could get close to someone with the placard, we'll do a brief rendition of this sacrifice while Brother Baccarat attends the altar. The top portion of the litany reads as follows, and if we could read and share it together. Save us, O Holy One, by your name. Vindicate us by your might. Hear my prayer, divine protector. Listen to the words of my mouth. How can we repay the Holy One for the gifts that have been given to us? We will lift up the cup of salvation and call upon the God of our ancestors. We will fulfill our vows to our Creator in the presence of all our people. Gladly we bring our sacrifices to you. We will praise your name, O Amen Ra, for it is good. Umoja, unity. We shall strive to maintain unity in the family, community, nation, and race. Kujichagulia, self-determination. Created and speak for ourselves. Ujima, collective work and responsibility. We shall build and maintain our community together. Our brothers and sisters' problems shall be ours to solve together. Ujima, cooperative economics. Nia, purpose. We shall make our collective vocation the building and development of our community and the restoration of the people to our traditional greatness. Creativity. We shall do as much as we can, in any way we can, to leave our community more beautiful and beneficial than when we inherited it. Together, Imani, faith. We shall believe with all our hearts in our Creator, our people, and the righteousness and victory of our struggle. Amen. Kneeling pads have been laid at the front of the altar for those that may wish to come forward and share in prayer there. Others, you may assume a comfortable position at your chair. And I will take a few brief moments to bless these sacrifices. And indeed, we do look upon these as sacrifices. We know that the economic times are tough times out there. And so we're grateful for all the contributions that come to us to help us with this work. Okay, some in a prayerful position, and Brother Tayamba playing on the keyboards. Candles in Guzo Sabo, 7 principles of our way burn brightly. I said, O Holy One, I come again, ever thankful for life, ever thankful for this place called Wose. O Holy One, we thank you for each and every one that took time out of your day to come out to share in this memorial for Brother Robert, to come and to make make and to be involved with communities. We thank you, O Holy One, for these diligent and committed workers and followers of the way, the lovers of my aunt. O Holy One, we ask that you allow these sacrifices to multiply many times over, that we may go forward with the great work that you have commanded us to do. Be with us, O Holy One, throughout this day, throughout the rest of the week. Bless each and every one. Grant protections to our families, safe travels to our respective homes. Be with each and every one of us and deliver us again 7 days from hence to this place we call Wose. Holy One, become asking, ever mindful of the great work and sacrifices of our ancestors, the great work and the great legacies of that work that you engineered through them and their love of you. We ask that you instill in us some of that same love, some of that same commitment and dedication, that we may continue to do this work. Be with us, the Holy One. Ashe.
We said something about the value of humility, but I don't believe we should continue any attempts to turn humility into invisibility. The program does call for some closing remarks. I think we've had closing remarks. The program does call for some words of thanks, and we've had some words of thanks. We're about to have some more words of thanks. As you look at your program, you'll see that I was supposed to introduce a speaker who did not show. Unfortunately, we won't have the opportunity to thank him. Perhaps that's just as well. But I really was serious when I said there should not continue to be a time when we treat each other as if, for any reason, in any way, that we are one-dimensional. The Robert certainly was not. And we've discovered today that the depth of his treasures run deep.
Yes.
There's a sign outside this building. I'm not speaking from the heart. There's a sign outside this building that says that this is the house of Amen. And if we translate that name literally, it means hidden light. Hidden light. Brother Robert, in some ways, carried a hidden light. So his life is an example of the principle that shelters us in this room. And I did not want to leave it without saying that he fits. And will always fit. Not only in our hearts, but in our journey. Because we too work with the life. That is why we are here. Let our lights indeed shine.
Yes.
Let us not conceal them or permit them to be concealed by any circumstances whatsoever. And so, as a final word of thanks, we're all, perhaps with one exception, among the speakers, known to each other, although not fully so. As family, we should correct that. I want to especially thank Sister Jamila for her remarks. And for filling what was really a space on the program that needed to be filled. Brother Cinnabar. And our loyal and beloved sister, Geisha, who returns at these auspicious moments to share her light, her loyalty, her love with us. We've crossed some roads in the process we've been through today. I once lived in East Palo Alto, and it's nice to know that one of us still does, even after the word Nairobi is never worn off. The struggle continues. The struggle here continues. Brother Taimba, I know you had more to say. You did. I certainly didn't know that you had been visiting Brother Robert as frequently as you did. And those moments are probably private, but I hope that at least you got closer to him as a result of those visits. I've been associated with Wose for about 23 years, active about 19 of those. And our journey is far from over. The moments of pioneering discoveries made by the initiators of Wose continue to evolve. And I hope that evolution will be something that we will continue to contribute to in each of our own ways, because each of us brings something special to it. So with that, let me thank all of you for your contributions. I cannot end, however, by especially thanking Sister Carol Afua Yates.
Yes.
If I'm not mistaken, had this idea
She sure did.
in her mind, to which she has given birth. And I hope that we will also keep in mind our dear sister Connie,
Yes.
who has been an accomplice. So with that, I release you from my remarks, and hope that we will all enjoy and be challenged and will rise to the adventure that we have undertaken here at Wose Community. Thank you. Very much.
Abajahi.
Let's hit this right there.
What am I do what?
Bring it home.
Bring it home. All right, okay. Gonna do our national anthem.
All right.
What?
Birthday.
Oh yeah, we just had one yesterday. Our sister Shanita's birthday. This is which anniversary of your 21st birthday? My sisters, they start marking their birthday. Every birthday was an anniversary of their 21st.
And there also was Sister Akondayo's 78th. Yesterday. Wow.
Okay.
of members. All right, be very quick.
Okay. And then I'll say then also, Brother Cephas, the uncle of Oscar Grant, is having a vigil to stop the violence on Wednesday at 6 o'clock on the corner of 98th and International. They asked me to come out and do libations, so Wednesday, this Wednesday coming, so that's been a rehearsal. 6 o'clock. Rehearsal, so if any drummers, singers, hand clappers, players.
I have one enough that I heard last night over the radio that next weekend, I don't even know if I'll be able to make it, but Amiri Baraka and jazz bassist Reggie Workman are having, I think they're going to be playing on Friday night, and Saturday night they're going to have a discussion on the state of black jazz, which should be interesting.
Where is it again?
And it's going to be at the East Side Cultural Center. I think it's 2200 block of International. Yeah.
When is it?
Next Saturday night, that's Friday and Saturday night. I think they're playing on Friday night and discussion is Saturday night.
And today
You want to double check? Go ahead.
today starting at 5 o'clock at Shashamani, the opening restaurant on Broadway, near 25th. They're having a benefit party tribute to a healthcare project that is in Concord.
Yes.
And, there's a number of good people that are working on that project. So I think, once you finish your meal here and your meeting, you might just kind of take a slow drive down that way and be there. It's from 5 to 11, so if you want to go home and take a little nap, you can.
The Stones of Fire are asleep. What
And
time?
that's right, the Stones of Fire.
Between 7 and 8, sometime between 7 and 8.
I want to thank Sister Full for mentioning Ghana, Republic of Ghana, where I will be for 2 weekends. Next Sunday, all the way through the 10th, when we return here. We'll be chaperoning teenagers from the Young Gifted and Black organization that's based in my home. And taking them to the historic sites. They will also perform as part of the celebration. We're looking forward to it.
I'll be away.
And we'll get a full report when you return.
Lift every voice and sing till earth and heaven ring with the harmonies of liberty. Let Might be the best thing.
Did you hear me? You go first. And you may all share with Brother Thornton. Right there looking at you.
You still have money for 2 weeks ago?
Get out, yes, sir.
Yes.
All right. You're telling me. So you know the. So I'm gonna asking you, but I didn't know.